I really could care less, to be honest, about leaderboards. At most, I mostly use it just for extra clicks from a YouTube video, because people like to click on leaderboard teams. Hey everyone, so I hope Love Cup is going well for you all. For me personally, I found a team that worked really well and helped me climb quite a bit onto the leaderboards. I was also able to break 3,500 for the first time this season. So the team I've been using is Medicham with Electrode, Safe Swap, and Magcargo in the back. I will say, especially for Medicham, you don't need to have the most optimized IVs or XL Medicham to make it useful. Me personally, my Medicham is a 15, 15, 14, and it's level 42 if you factor in the best buddy bonus. Some of these matches, it was actually before I even best buddied it, so it was only at level 41, and it still worked pretty well for the most part, and I'll talk more about my strategies in a bit. Okay, so getting into the matches, Medicham Mirror. So how does not having an optimized XL Medicham work here? Often, more than times than not, I'll win CMP because I'm running a 15 attack Medicham, and even though, I don't know why I was missing some of those bubbles, but even though they may have a higher stat product, they are going to lose CMP there. And winning CMP is very important for this matchup because knowing if they're going to shield first or not is a big difference right here. And my opponent here is actually running Power Punch. I personally like Ice Punch for this specific reason. Power Punch is just not enough. Maybe if I got a defense drop, maybe it would have been enough. But because of that, I was actually able to win Switch despite having worse stat product Medicham. And they bring in their Wigglytuff right here. Now I have all my counters lined up, and I could just literally rock throw this thing down and then just go straight for Stone Edge. Two big things to note is one, it's okay not to have a max stat product Medicham or a high ranked XL one. As you can see, you still win CMP, which is really nice. And then also you want to run Ice Punch with the slime. Power Punch can be okay. For me personally, I think it's a little bit high risk, high reward. But I personally have found Ice Punch is a lot more useful, especially in the lead. Alright, so going against opposing Medicham again, this against my friend Valor Ash, also a great battler. So as you can see, again, winning CMP here is huge. You definitely have to be careful of them sneaking through counters too, because they could probably catch up to you there, and I personally am not great at that myself. So you can see his Medicham is a 1499, and he's going to counter me all the way down here. So obviously his XL Medicham did come in handy right there because he was able to generate quite a bit of energy and still gets a Psychic. So now we're on even shields. He has Switch advantage, so that's not great. And I come in with my Electrode. I am ahead on energy. So here's what I'm thinking. He probably has a water in the back if he's coming in Electrode into my Electrode, and here it is. This is disastrous for me. His backline completely eviscerates this Magcargo, and I'm in a lot of trouble here. So my plan here is I need to just farm down this Alomomola. Man, I always struggle saying that Pokemon's name. And then hope that he doesn't have Hyper Beam, first of all. And then he only has Foul Play, and I need to land 2 Foul Plays here. And let's see if we can get to it. He does have a shield up, and then I get to the second Foul Play. So, despite pretty much having him hard counter me in the back and having Switch advantage, this line still has a lot of play, which really says something. Magcargo, even though it's very weak to water, doing rock damage is really nice compared to Charizard or Sunny Castform that's only doing fire damage. Okay, so this is an easy one. Scrafty lead, almost always a pretty easy win for the most part. My opponent actually does go Icy Wind there. You kind of have to respect the drill run with the Seaking because it's the same amount of energy to get to as Icy Wind, and if you don't shield it, then they could win Switch advantage pretty easily by just shielding again and just poison jamming you down. So my opponent does throw the Power Punch right here. Even though I'm debuffed, Electrode does have a pretty high attack stat, so it's going to hurt quite a bit still with this Discharge and chip away at the Scrafty. And then here comes Charizard. Wing attack Charizard too. This is going to be pretty easy from here on out. This was just straight counter throw all the way through. But pretty much for Scrafty leads, that's usually what you see. I think I've lost one Scrafty lead. My opponent played it really well and had a tough backline for me to deal with. But for the most part, Scrafty leads are pretty easy because you can just line up your counters pretty well. This team is pretty balanced, having a hard charm counter, and then Electrode has a great safe swap. If you look at any of these matches, there's not really a single situation where I lose lead and I safe swap Magcargo. You always want to safe swap Electrode, because for the most part with Electrode, you can pretty much force shields against anything, even if you lose Switch, right? So my motto is, if you lose Switch advantage, at least come out with a shield, right? Advantage. So they come in with their Medicham right here. They are going to shield the first one just to respect the potential Hyper Beam. This is kind of a tough spot, but I'm just going to tank the Psychic right here. Maybe I should have shielded, thinking back on it a little bit, because this Wigglytuff is not going to be able to burn my shields, right? So I'm going to swap straight to Magcargo. I mean, you can see I'm spamming it because I don't want any charms coming through. And then he comes in with his Wigglytuff. I'm going to shield at this point. Even though this is going to be all resisted, I just don't want this Wigglytuff to be able to chip away at me too much. And it's going to be a Charizard. So fantastic. You love to see that. And then, yeah, once you draw out the fighter right there, it's pretty much easy for Magcargo to sweep. All right, so another Wigglytuff lead. A little bit tough here. And again, I'm just going to go for the double, or charge up to what looks like a Hyper Beam and then go for a Discharge. So they do shield once, that's fine. The second Discharge won't take them out, but it'll put them kind of low. And then so they get another Charm through, that's okay. I'm going to come in with my Magcargo right here and see what we can do here. At this point, I just let this move go through. And this is one of my early matches, so in hindsight, I might have shielded it in a future match. So they end up coming with Slowbro. Really bad for my team. It beats Magcargo, and it could beat Medicham right here. So the Wigglytuff is kind of low on health, so I'm just hoping to farm up a bunch of energy right here and hope that I can take it out somehow with some energy. The Wigglytuff did drop its move cell, so it doesn't have any energy on itself. And then here comes a Shadow Slowking. Wow. So essentially 3 checks to Medicham. Now Medicham still very, very strong, especially that Psychic. I'm just going to go back-to-back Psychics and able to still take out the Slowbro. But this Wigglytuff, unfortunately, has a little too much health left. Now, you can see it was like almost a sliver of health left on the Wigglytuff. Maybe if I had an XL Medicham, I would have been able to beat it. But it's kind of how it goes. I didn't grind nearly enough for XL Medicham. But, you know, honestly, against a Wigglytuff lead with 2 Confusion users and Psychics in the back, it's pretty solid, in my opinion, that you can even keep it that close, right? That's why I really like this line. There's only one team comp that I haven't figured out a way to beat yet, and I'll show you that towards the end of the video. But going against Rise, a great battler and content creator and streamer. And so right here, what I noticed is that people that want to safe swap their Sunny Cast form will often be in a bad spot because Electrode can win that as long as they let one Discharge go through. And so at this point, I'm in a very, very good spot. I'm going to go straight for the Ice Punch right here just to chip away at the Electrode. He isn't going to shield, so that's fine. I think at this point, I'm just going to try to counter all the way down. I'm not too worried about... yeah, I guess I just go for the move right here. I'm not too worried about this Clefable getting a little extra energy off of my Medicham because it's not going to get to 2 charge moves anyway. I'd rather have a little bit extra health in my Magcargo rather than take some extra damage from the Electrode. Alright, so as you can see right here, I just go straight Rock Throw all the way down. So even against Charm leads, this team still has a lot of play. Double Charm teams, how do you handle those? Double Charm teams aren't so bad because once they come in with the first Charm, you always want to go Magcargo counter swap. I said you don't safe swap Magcargo, but you counter swap Magcargo if they bring in something that's very strong against fighters, such as Scolipede, Bugs, and then Fairies, right? Because you resist all this damage, and then look at that. I have a bunch of energy. I have almost 2 Stone Edges, so I'm going to throw 1, and it's going to do a ton of damage to the Magcargo if they let it go through. Oh, okay, all right, you can go ahead. Leave checks. And then they shield the first one, and I go for a second one. So that's huge. I burn both shields right there. And then they come in with a Clefable. This is really solid because I should be able to still get to 2 discharges unless they maybe throw a move. Let's see if they do or don't. And then they do throw a move. And that's totally fine. Because they throw a move here, I'm just going to let it go. My Medicham has almost Ice Punch ready, so I'm going to go straight for the Ice Punch. Again, Power Punch wouldn't be as ideal there because you probably wouldn't be able to KO with it, and you have to take some extra charm damage. I wanted to save the shield because the Overheat does hurt quite a bit from Magcargo. They actually go for Stone Edge because they don't want to debuff themselves, but there's just no way they get to Overheat in time too. Alright, so... another double charm line, except this time it's Scolipede in the lead. This is kind of like that Wigglytuff lead a few matches ago. There's 3 checks, 3 counters to Medicham. So how do you come out of this one, right? So again, you want to safe swap the Electrode. Electrode will not win you switch here against Charmers if they shield, but it will grab you a shield at least. So at this point, I'm going to come in with my Magcargo. And I'm probably going to just shield the move right here just because, especially with Charm teams, you might not be able to have a lot of chances to shield if they have another Charm in the back. At this point, I didn't know they had another Charm in the back until I see the Wigglytuff right here. This is really solid. So I'm just go straight for the Stone Edge, burn the shields, because if I could land a Psychic on the Scolipede, I'll be in business. And Scolipede definitely doesn't want to come into this Magcargo here. So I am going to shield the Magcargo, mainly because I can't really farm down the Wigglytuff with counters. I'm going to take a lot of damage there. So I'd rather just chip away at this Magcargo and have it burn its energy first, and then come in with my Medicham. At this point, it's pretty much within Ice Punch range, and you can see I kind of hesitated and didn't press Ice Punch right away because I was thinking about going Psychic, but it doesn't really even matter at this point because I survived the Sludge Bomb anyway. Maybe I have Mega Horn, it might do more damage, but most are running Sludge Bomb and Exosuit. So yeah, so still able to beat a team with 3 Medicham counters with the Medicham in the lead. So just to show, you know, how versatile this team could be. People are like, oh, there's so many Charmers in this meta. It's true, but it doesn't mean that it's unplayable, right? Okay, so Alomomola, my gosh, hate saying that Pokemon's name. Anyway, very strong in this cup, very, very bulky. And I just stay in here because you want to protect them with Magcargo in the back. They have a Medicham here, which isn't great because it checks my backline fairly well, but I am able to chip it down with 1 Psychic, and then now I'm just coming with my Electrode. And I don't shield here just to see if it's a Psychic or not. It ends up being just a Power Punch. This is really good. So I'm going to just drop the Discharge and then probably shield the second one if I have to. Actually, I might just let this one go because I still survived the Power Punch. I actually expected it to be a Power Punch. It ends up being an Ice Punch. Still taking out the Medicham. And now I go Discharge against Seaking. This is really solid because Seaking, good news about Magcargo is you're resisting that Poison Jab damage. Obviously, Drill Run's going to one-shot you, so you have to shield it and respect it. But I get to the Stone Edge before they get to another Drill Run, and this should one-shot the Seaking. Again, this is why I love Magcargo a lot because it has a lot of play against waters, whereas Charizard, its hardest hitting move of Blast Burn is resisted, and the Dragon Claw's okay, but just not nearly as strong. Alright, so what I do against Seaking leads is I tank the Icy Wind first and then I swap. Right, I charge with a bunch of energy and I swap to my Electrode. Technically speaking, I don't really have a strong Seaking counter in the back end either, but because I'm resisting that Poison Jab damage with Magcargo, it's not terrible, especially with shields up. You just have to worry about the Drill Runs. Alright, and then I am able to get to another Discharge here. So I expect my opponents to just let this go because they're already down a shield and now they lost switch advantage, and this is perfect. I just come in with my Magcargo, start rock throwing down the what do you call it, the Sunny Cast form, and I'm going to let this move go. It's going to be an Icy Wind and I'll still survive it. Let's see how much if I can still get off Psychic, and I do. This is huge. And then now I have a Magcargo with 2 shields against a Sunny Cast form. This is rough without shields for the Sunny Cast form, but with 2 shields, this is good games right there. All right, Shadow Slowbro. Just Slowbro in general, you know, Psychics in general are kind of rough against Medicham, unless it's another Medicham. Alright, so they come in with a Vileplume. Now, this is kind of rough too, because it is resisting all the Volt Switch damage, but again, Electrode, very good at forcing shields, especially in a bad situation right here, and I'm definitely in a bad situation. So, that was really solid, and then I'm going to come in with my Medicham, farm up a decent amount of energy. I'm going to shield here. It could be a Moonblast. Sludge Bomb will hurt quite a bit too, and you know, I want to have as much farm as I can and still have play against a Slowbro in the back. So I go straight for the Psychic because it's going to do a decent amount of damage against the Shadow variant. Plus, you know, if I swap away, if I have to farm down next Pokemon, I'll hit like 100 energy before I could drop anything on the Slowbro. Alright, so it ends up being a Magcargo Mirror in the back, which is pretty interesting. And so I go straight for the Stone Edge, and then I'm going to just chip away at this Shadow Slowbro as much as possible. And I just need to get that Ice Punch, and luckily I get there just in time. I think they're probably just at the move, but still able to take out the Shadow Slowbro lead, which is definitely a brutal lead for this team, but still have a lot of play, like I said before. Shadow Vileplume, also a rough lead. Again, this is another reason why you want Ice Punch over the Power Punch. Power Punch, unless you just bait shields with it, you're not really going to be able to do too much against Shadow Vileplume because they're definitely going to be able to shield your Psychic in time, and you can't really force 2 shields here. So I was able to force 2 shields against the Shadow Vileplume. Pretty solid. I mean, for a losing lead, that's the best you can hope for. And then they come in Wigglytuff into my Magcargo. Pretty weird. This makes you think that they're very weak to Magcargo in the back. Let's see if I'm right or not. They come back in with Shadow Victory Bell. Yeah, definitely not a good sign. I'm expecting a Fire type for sure. And it's going to be Talonflame. Yep, super weak to rock. Magcargo just sweeping the entire back line. You don't even see Electrode in this match. That's how good it is. So, all right, Crustle lead, pretty solid for Medicham. Although it's only taking neutral from fighting, so it's not nearly as strong. Medicham's not nearly as strong against it as something like Magcargo. So I'm able to win switch here. You definitely want to be careful. You want to chip away at the Vileplume just a little bit because Shadow Vileplume could potentially take out Magcargo still, depending on maybe some IV spreads and stuff. But as you can see, because it was chipped away a little bit, I was able to just fast move it down all the way. All right, I forced a shield from my opponent right there. That's huge, and I go straight for the Psychic. I'm going to let this go. It's just going to be an X-Scissor. It's going to do neutral, which still does a decent amount. But the smackdowns are resisted, so it's good. It's going to be very solid. And then here comes a Wigglytuff. So this is an interesting spot to be in. I need to go for double discharge here and force a shield. And then hopefully this next one will take out the Wigglytuff. But it looks like this one's pretty bulky and it's not going to go down right away. So I'm one charm away. And I think this is where my opponent makes a huge mistake. They actually throw a move instead of just charming all the way down. Now I get a counter through. I get the energy from my Ice Punch and able to take out the Crustle. Had they not thrown the move and just gone straight charm, they probably would have won that. But still a really great game by them and really close, keeping it really close, especially with such an unfavorable lead for them. All right, Electrode lead. What I like to do is catch the discharge. Going against Jay Robbins tags here, a really great battler, also a streamer. But anytime you catch the discharge on your Electrode, you're in business. You're going to be having a huge advantage right there. And then they have the double shield if they want to try to win this. He wouldn't discharge again. So maybe he actually has Hyper Beam. So maybe it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because I wouldn't have been able to catch a foul play. And he did do the move. So unless he was going straight for Hyper Beam against my Electrode, wouldn't be too relevant. All right, and then I am going. So I accidentally misclicked my Medicham right there. I actually want to bring in my Magcargo, but I guess it ends up working out pretty well anyway. Here, having health on Magcargo here is not too bad because the confusion is neutral, and I still have a shield remaining for the Slowbro. So I choose not to shield here, and then I'm just going to drop the Psychic here because I know it's going to do a decent amount of damage against the Slowbro. It's not the Shadow variant, unfortunately, but I'm going to charge up some energy. I'm going to shield now and then preserve my health on this Medicham. And then now I go straight for the Ice Punch, expecting a swap in with Scolipede and able to take it out. Again, Yurkowski, another pretty solid battler. I had some weird glitch, but gladly it didn't impact the game right there. Great battler, and again, trying to catch the discharge on Electrode. So just got to be sure you can do that, and then it put you in a very solid advantage in terms of draining your opponent's energy while still have energy banked on your Medicham. And Wormadam is actually something that you probably want to see early on, just because it is kind of a pain for this team to deal with. And then I'm going to come in with my Magcargo right here. Showing all three Pokemon is not ideal, but at this point, I don't want to really get hit by anything with my Medicham. Alright, so they actually come back with Electrode, so it's maybe kind of curious why. So I'm going to stay in right here myself and shield my Magcargo. Chances are they probably have something that's better against Medicham in the back. So let's see what it is. Yep, it's going to be a Scolipede. That makes sense. I'm going to go straight for Stone Edge. I have that Psychic still charged up on my Medicham, and I go straight for it. So again, that early sack to my Electrode without need to spend energy on my Medicham helped a lot in the late game. Alright, Shadow Charizard. Charizard's really a pain. Shadow Charizard, man, that thing's gonna hit hard. So I actually go in with my Electrode right here, and at this, there's some matches where you really want to win switch, such as Charm leads. It's not always that you will be able to, but in this specific scenario, if I could win lead, great. So I'm going to shield right here. I'm probably going to double shield because double shielding here is not too bad because the Shadow Charizard is not going to appreciate any charge moves. So with shields down, Charizard will be definitely on the weaker end. So I'm going to see if I can force 2 shields from my opponent right here. So they decided to keep 1 shield. That's fine because this Magcargo is going to go to work on this Charizard. And I get to discharge. That's huge. And they shield. So now I come with Magcargo, able to rock throw it down before it even throws its moves. Man, that's gotta feel bad. But it happens. It's hard to react to a Magcargo coming in on a Shadow Charizard right there, and it will take out the Slowbro right there. Was that Shadow Slowbro? Man, I respect the spicy team for sure. All right, So Charizard with a Scrafty counter swap. This one looks like it's probably just going straight, or it goes straight foul play. That's totally fine. I charge up to, again, what looks like a Hyper Beam, and then see if I can force a shield. I can't force a shield on the first one, but this should force a shield on the second one at least, and it does. And that's fine. Now I come with my Medicham. I still have the Magcargo in the back for Charizard. So in this specific scenario, I don't win switch against Charizard lead, so let's see how I play it out. They go in with a foul play. Definitely want to shield it just in case. I don't want too much chip damage on this Medicham, and I'm going to throw Ice Punch just to bait out shield. Hopefully they will respect the Psychic, and they do. And I come in with Magcargo. Ooh, this is bad. Yeah, Alomomola, very rough for this team, especially in the back end. But even against Electrode, it actually could force a shield against Electrode, and so yeah, they go straight for the Hydro Pump. Makes sense because they only have time to get one move off, and we charge up a bunch of energy, go straight for Psychic. Hopefully this could take out the Charizard, because I know it is building up quite a bit of energy, and it does. So despite having countered throughout every step of the way and still being able to pull off a win right there, really shows what the team can do with a little bit of energy advantage. All right, so this is the team I have never figured out how to beat. Charizard with double fighters. So it's often Charizard. You know, once in a while it'll be like a Wigglytuff or Clefable or maybe a Sunny Castform. Sunny Castform's fine because Medicham actually can beat it. Same thing with Cargo. But it's oftentimes Charizard with double fighters. It's brutal. It's really hard. Luckily I do call the Psychic correctly. But it's just a very tough line because here I need to force a shield with this Ice Punch at least. So I at least have some play later down the road. I am. That's huge. And now we come in my Magcargo. Unfortunately, like I predicted, it's going to be a Scrafty. And Scrafty is going to ramp up a bunch of damage with these Power Punches. And luckily, I do get an Overheat off, which is... I don't know if it's good or bad, because it means I can't farm the Scrafty too much. And you can see right here, I need some extra farm. So I'm just going to sit here and wait for my opponent. They clearly caught on here. Good read by them. So they also stopped tapping, and now I'm just hoping to swap over to my Medicham, and I'm going to tank this move right here. It's going to be probably a foul play, but I kind of need to save my shield because Charizard definitely has some energy. And you can see I get to Ice Punch, but lost his CMP. That was this close. This is the closest ever coming to beating this line. Unfortunately, still not able to. So if you figure out a way to beat that line, congrats. Definitely props to you because it's definitely a hard one. I've lost many battles to that line. All right, going against my opponent right here. This is actually a fellow patron of mine. So they've had early access team for about a week. So they kind of knew the gist of it, and I told them in my patrons only footage that I have a very high attack Medicham. So my opponent actually knew that they were going to lose a mirror here, so that's why they decided to swap out to the Electrode. I actually didn't realize that they were running my line just because they're a patron line. They don't always have the running line, so I was like, maybe they have a Warden back. Let's hope not. And let's see what they come in with. So they come back in with Medicham right here. I go straight for the Stoner. Stoner should be enough, and this way I can still do some extra damage with Rock Throws, and my opponent does shield it too. So I'm going to come in here with my Medicham to force him to drop energy, because I am close to that Ice Punch, so I'd rather have him drop the energy right here. And then now I come in with my Electrode, and here is the Slug. So again, Electrode, very, very solid, especially in the one shields. Can definitely force shields here. I'm definitely going to shield this. No way I don't, because I would definitely be taken out by the Stone Edge. And then I go straight for another Discharge. And at this point, it doesn't take KO it, but it's actually really good. I get just enough energy to take out this Medicham, because Electrode would win CP here, and then I'm able to still take out the Medicham. So big props to my patron for running my line and able to allow me to show a mirror matchup as well. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope Love Cup is going well for you all. I know a lot of my patrons using this team actually hit Legend recently with it. So give this a shot if you're on that final push, or you're just trying to make some leaderboard climbs, or you're just trying to make it to the next possible rank. A big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like early access to my strategies, or just see some additional gameplay footage on how I analyze some of these matches, feel free to sign up in the link down below. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post new content, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.